Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back at one of my special filming spot locations because guess what? We have that one vehicle from that iconic Japanese brand that really changed the auto industry. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Toyota Corolla. This particular one is an XLE Hybrid. But before we get into this compact car that is an ultra fuel sipper, let's talk about what's going on here. So in the 1970s, when the Corolla came about, the Japanese were really giving 1-2 punches to the American auto brands. Now, of course, it's not just the Corolla. Toyota also came out with the Camry in the 1970s. But it's interesting because the Corolla has stayed true to its roots even after all these decades and new technology that's been added. It's about having that great transportation that's reliable, fuel efficient, and is gonna be able to go through the thick and thin of your daily travels. Now, what's fascinating, of course, is that Toyota does have an arch nemesis, another iconic Japanese brand known as Honda. And right around the same time, they came out with the Honda Civic. And the Civic has a hybrid that we just did the review of the all-new 2025 Honda Civic. So what I want to find out is, do you go with that new Honda Civic Hybrid, or do you go with the tried and true of this Corolla XLE Hybrid? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Corolla and see if it's the better fuel sipper over the Honda Civic. Let's find out. Right off the bat, you're still getting that same overall basic design. It received a refresh about 2 years ago. And when you look at the trims, XLE is gonna be at the top, especially an XLE Hybrid. Now at the front of the business, when they did that refresh, they tweaked the front end to definitely give the Corolla its sportiest of looks. You're gonna have your LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals, and that projector beam headlight. I like on the Hybrid how you have all this body color, nice smooth surface. For one thing, though, I do have to zonk, is down in the corner here. Why do we have a fake vent? This should be a corner air curtain or just make it all body color. Why did they do that is beyond me. I do like the way you have this little piece of aero that drops down from the front fascia. And then as we come across that front grille, it's really become a signature style of Toyota when it comes to their Corolla and also the mid-size Camry. So you're gonna have that large open grille area on the bottom portion. You do have mostly functionality here. They do a little bit of this metallic silver on the lip, and then they top it off with the body color on the bottom portion. In the center, you got your Toyota badge with the blue, which signifies that this is a hybrid vehicle. And then they did this honeycomb style fake grille. Why? Just make it smooth. Leave it smooth, and I would have been fine with that. But definitely for a hybrid, it does have a sporty look to it, even though this is not the XSE, this is the XLE. So if you go XSE, that is the top sporty trim, which would make it even look sportier than this. This has more luxurious touches on the interior, and this trim aligns perfectly with the Civic Hybrid Touring Hybrid. That's that Touring Hybrid of the Civic, which we drove in Montreal. So I'll leave the link to that review at the end of this one. But as we rise up, everything on the hood is gonna remain the same. You have your body lines that start on top of the front fascia and then kind of do a nice soft curve into the A-pillars. It's great to be driving hybrids today because remember, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, hybrids all look like some type of origami little swan looking thing going down the road, like a science experiment that went wrong. Now you could have a Corolla, it looks like a Corolla, but wait until you hear about the MPGs. I can't wait to tell you that. Now, as we come around the bend, I'm a little let down. I'm gonna have to zonk it. For an XLE trim, why do we have these sort of base color wheels? So it's a V-spoke design, split spoke design all the way around, metallic silver, which matches the lower lip area on the front of the vehicle, but this is, believe it or not, a 16-inch wheel. So we're not looking at a big diameter wheel. Tires are 205 on the width, 55 series sidewall. The one thing that I know would be a big reason why they went with such a small wheel is to get better MPGs. That's the one saving grace. And I think wait until I open up the hood and tell you that MPG number, it's just gonna make your jaw drop and hit the ground. But let me know about the wheel. I just feel like I said, with it being an XLE trim, I need a little bit more pizzazz here. Give me some little color, a little definition going on. But I like the way everything is smooth around the fender opening. Ours is front wheel drive, remember, and they did do tuning that are a little bit more on the comfy side of things compared to the XSE. Now, as we go down the side, you do have color matched on your mirror caps, LED turn signals blended in, bright shiny metalwork only on the top portion, which I actually really like. You do have a standard size sunroof. And what's nice is comparing this with the 2025 Civic Hybrid, especially the Touring trim, it's sort of like a mano-a-mano competition here because both of them have the standard size sunroof. Both of them are gonna have LED turn signals and things like that. The color match on the door handles. And then I like on the Corolla that nice side skirt extension that drops down. Not only does it give it a little bit of special style, but it also helps with the airflow down the side of the vehicle. Now, as we come towards the rear, I wish that they would have done something a little different here. Give me a quarter window instead of just this flat black plastic. Not my favorite, so I am gonna have to zonk that. But on the back window side of things, nice smooth aero, no trunklet spoiler. You gotta go XSE if you want the trunklet spoiler. The other guy right there, Thomas Edison light bulb. What's going on here? You do have LED on the brake lights, and you'll see the Thomas Edison light bulb on the reverse lamps. XLE Hybrid, gotta have that hybrid badge nice and prominent. And then to wrap it off, smooth flat black, but we got a dangler. We got a little bit of a dangler here. So maybe some of you, that's what you see dangling down, but on my car, I don't wanna see a dangler. They could have trimmed that and have it not be exposed. Or how about like the Civic Hybrid, give me an exhaust finisher, at least one or something. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what kind of MPGs we get out of this Corolla. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, but even Stevens, and of course I'm talking about Stephen Flood, our other videographer, even Stevens on the prop rod because the Honda Civic Hybrid has a prop rod. Underneath the hood is that tried and true bulletproof setup. What the heck are we looking at? We're looking at a 1.8 liter inline four paired with the electric motor is going to give you a combined 134 horsepower. It's mated to an eCVT. It utilizes a lithium-ion battery pack. Here's where it gets depressing, if it's not already depressing to you. 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. So if a grandma on an electric scooter is accelerating next to you from a dead stop, she's gonna take the win. Top speed is governed to 107 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 3,181 pounds. Now, I know you're ready for the crescendo, right? We're waiting for that crescendo, the climax of this engine compartment, and that's gonna be MPGs. Well, what I could tell you first off, right off the bat, Honda Civic Hybrid beats it in horsepower, beats it in acceleration, but here's where the Corolla Hybrid does what The Rock does. He lays the smackdown on his opponents in the WWE. This thing gets, are you ready for it? 53 MPGs in the city and 46 on the highway. Boom, take that, Honda Civic Hybrid. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn it on and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Toyota Corolla XLE Hybrid. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need a car for work. I'm gonna be on the road a lot. I don't want something big, and I want something that's fuel efficient, but I also want some nice touches on the interior. I'm always liking the Corolla. I remember this girl that I dated that just won me over. She had a Corolla back in high school. That's where I, the birds and the bees did their thing with me for the first time, and I'm kind of partial to this Corolla. How much is it? Very good question. And before I tell you, just so you know, it's pretty much spot on with what the Civic Hybrid is. Just saying. I wonder if they did it on purpose. MSRP for this particular car is right around $29,000. Let's see what you get for the moolah to the door panels. What you're going to notice is what Toyota calls parchment colored interior. So you have that very, very light beige, super light beige, soft touch material. The one zonk I have is the amount of gloss black on that door handle. You either better wear gloves, an isotoner glove, or a Michael Jackson sparkly glove, because you're going to get fingerprints all over it. Then you have sort of like a macadamian color on the armrest with the contrast stitching. No gloss black around the switchgear, which is great news. And then you have a decent sized door pocket, large enough for a big Buford and a strawberry milkshake to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, more parchment, soft touch. We got the JBL 8-speaker sound system, and then as you slide on in, we have that 8-inch floating iPad style infotainment system screen. It may not look sexy, it may not look super blended into the interior, but it is very easy to use, and it's all within fingertip reach. Navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I do like the way it's got the new software where you could set up your different guests, your driver profiles. We go into the little car and you could pick up your energy flow. There's the lithium-ion battery pack. There's your electric motor, and there's the 1.8 liter. And like I said, it's front-wheel drive. Speaking of drive, throw it into reverse. It does take up all 8 inches. I just wish the resolution was a little bit better, and I wish that this trajectory line system would move with the wheels. But the good news is, like I said, it takes up all of that screen space. Very easy to use. Real volume knob, which is important. You got your AC vents, standard AC control, no dual climate in this XLE with the digital readout. You even have an eco heat cool mode if you're trying to really maximize your MPGs. Down below, we got a USB-C, wireless charging pad, 2 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, more of that parchment. This is going to control your eCVT. You have your drive mode button. I hope you don't like a lot of modes because there's only one mode, eco and off. And then a little bit of gloss black, 2 cup holders, standard Toyota key fob. It does the job. It's just not very attractive looking. Nice high armrest. I do like the way they do the armrest with the stitching. Open it up. You got a 12 volt, a USB-C, and you can literally put, I would say, 12 cassette tapes in there, music cassette tapes, and you better have a pen or a pencil. Let me know in the comment section if you know why you need a pen or a pencil with cassette tapes. I remember going to Music Land in the mall and checking out all of my different, groups that I listened to, all the different music, and buying the cassette tapes. Just the good old days. So you can fill them up in there. Seats, the two-tone does look very nice, very soft touch. It's so soft, they call it soft text. The parchment, no power seats for the passenger on an XLE trim. Kind of blows my mind, but I do have power seats in here. Lots of parchment. It's interesting. Every time I think parchment, I don't think of the interior color of this car. What I think of is parchment paper. And every time I hear parchment paper, that means Lori is going to the store to get some, which means it must be the time around the holidays and it's cookie time where Lori makes her molasses cookies, peanut butter cookies, and everything in between. That's what I think when I think parchment. I don't think this Toyota Corolla, just saying. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of this Corolla Hybrid. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 4-way adjustable seats for the driver, so that's nice. They actually pretend to give you the lower lumbar but that's just a dead button. Kind of surprising on an XLE trim. I'm 6 feet tall, lots of room in here. This Corollas and Civics, even though they're still considered compact cars, they're much bigger than they've ever been in their whole existence. Seats are comfy, steering wheel, leather all the way around. I've never been a fan of the Toyota horn button just because it doesn't really match with everything else in here. But you do have flat black on the switch gear, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you do have an 8-inch digital display, which you could scroll through a small cornucopia, not a large cornucopia, but a small cornucopia of different information. Of course, you have all your Toyota sensing technology, and there's your eco mode. That's what you got. So you could hug a tree and really squeeze out the MPGs, or you could just let her rip and just get the regular MPGs. It's up to you. But nice to have it just straightforward and simple. Let's go ahead though, let's get into the back seat because I want to see just how far I could drive this Corolla on a tank of gas. All right guys, plenty of room in this back seat, but I'll be honest with you, there's more room in the back of the Honda Civic Hybrid. They both do a great job, but the Honda just does it a little bit better. Still 6 feet tall, still have plenty of room. I just feel like in the Civic, I'm actually sitting a little bit lower. No pockets. You have the soft text material, no pockets on either side, but you do get the two-tone. But you'll notice somebody kicked the back of the seat, and I could actually still see their footprint from their shoe. So I'm gonna do a police kind of spec on this and see what type of shoe that was. But that's the problem. If you got kids, good luck. I'll make the sign of the cross for you. But the back of the command center, you do have the two USB-Cs, which are nice. No rear AC vents. And do we get, yes, soft like Charmin. It actually almost looks like a rectangle square shape of Charmin toilet paper. Triple ply, 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the trunk because I want to go for a drive in this Corolla. All right guys, let's see what kind of junk we can fit in the trunk. Now remember, with a sedan over an SUV, we got lower center of gravity right off the bat. And with the lithium-ion battery pack in the belly of this vehicle, it even lowers our center of gravity even more to give you a better handling, riding vehicle. But let's get into the trunk. You hit the button, you gotta use a little bit of muscle to open it up. You got 13 cubic feet of space. Plus the great news is that the seats are gonna fold down, 60-40 split. One thing I do wanna point out to help save weight, even though they put a cargo mat in here, to help save weight, there is no spare. You got a can of Flat Fix and an electric air compressor and a hope and a prayer. Something that they're doing to try to maximize MPGs. Like I said, I don't know if you were listening, 53 MPGs in the city. Gotta lose the spare. Gotta lose that spare tire. But why don't we go ahead, let's go for a drive and see how it all comes together with this Corolla. All right guys, we're inside this 2024 Toyota Corolla XLE Hybrid. Right away, you're in a familiar space. It's like your favorite pair of shoes. You put them on, they fit well, and they feel good. That's what I think about when I think about the Corolla XLE Hybrid. But getting down the road, very, very smooth. Actually very comfortable with those large, tall sidewall tires wrapped around our 16-inch wheels. I have the energy flow display on the 8-inch infotainment system, so you can kind of understand how the whole hybrid technology works. And then I really like the smart design of the hybrid gauge. It shows when I'm in power mode, charge, eco, the whole 9 yards. So it's very easy to know exactly what to do, how to do it inside this Corolla Hybrid. But it's really one of those vehicles that you're going to be able to go the distance, not only in reliability, but also in fuel consumption. And that's really where the proof is in the eating of the pudding, that this thing gets 53 miles per gallon. And we're in the top XLE trim. We're not in a base LE trim. This is a top XLE trim. Suspension tuning is done very well. It's comfy. The Civic Hybrid is going to be a little bit more, or I might say actually a lot more engaging. Not just because of more horsepower, but also because of the driving dynamics behind the Civic compared to the Corolla. The Corolla, I have always felt, has been a little softer, a little bit more marshmallowy compared to the Honda Civic, whether you're looking at hybrid or not. The great news is that with the hybrid technology in the Corolla, you don't really notice when the engine is turning on and off when needed. So that to me is a big plus. It's super smooth in the way it drives. And I know a lot of people are disappointed about eCVTs and CVTs and all that, but Honda and Toyota's units are definitely different and better than, say, a CVT in Nissan, for example. But the visibility is great. It really is the perfect commuter car. I mean, it's gonna really eat up miles very easily, and you're gonna be able to just bypass having to pull over at the gas stations for fuel just because of the great range you're getting. Visibility out the back is awesome. You got the updated Toyota sensing technology, which is great. And it just really lets you feel right at home, comfortable, and safe. And I think that is one of the biggest takeaways of the Toyota Corolla, especially the XLE Hybrid. I personally would have liked to have seen a little bit more when it comes to power seats, when it comes to ventilated seats. Would have been nice to have some more of those kinds of touches, especially in an XLE trim. But like I said, if you're looking for the maximum when it comes to MPGs, this is where it's at. But driving around, the comfort is just really, really fantastic. Getting to the 8-inch infotainment system is well within reach. AC controls, you really could have even flunked out of high school and still be able to utilize these controls very effectively. I just wish they were dual climate. It's just your standard AC controls with your temperature control and blower fan speed control. But I am hoping that you like this quick overall review of what the Civic Hybrid is bringing for model year 2024. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways. Definitely want to thank Zach and the rest of the Toyota USA team for getting us access to this 2024 Corolla Hybrid XLE. Let me know what you think. Are you going Toyota? Are you going Honda? Let them know in the comment section, because I promise you they go through those comments. Very curious to see how you're looking at this, especially when you look at the maximum MPGs. I mean, look at it this way. If you're gonna race a Honda Civic Hybrid, it's gonna beat you 0 to 60. But you get to pass it when it has to stop more at the gas stations. There you go. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Reds family. We need to thank LG Raiti. This is the 3rd state that she has filmed in the past 2 days. So show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for busting your booty. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.